What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Port Adelaide's trade targets heading into this year's trade period. Obviously, with the season done and dusted for 2025, we're getting an extra few weeks to really soak in the off-season and really dive in to see exactly what Port Adelaide could target this year in this trade period. That sure is to be one of the more, it's intriguing, this year's trade period, in particular across the whole AFL. Big name players connected to clubs, wanting out of clubs. You know, Charlie Curno's been a name that's thrown around quite a bit, and there's a lot of big names that are out there thinking, wow, they could get the best of both worlds, leave the club that they no longer want to be a part of, and the club that they are at get the best deal they possibly can. So it's definitely a two-way street, but there's a lot of roundabouts and hurdles to get through as we dive into the trade targets. But in particular for Port Adelaide, it's not so much the big name players that they're looking after this year. It's the names that are on the fringe or on the cusp and need a better opportunity, an opportunity where they could definitely seek out a better path for their own football careers, but also settle in at a new home. And with Port Adelaide's new era upon us, with Josh Carr in the new driver's seat for next year, it's definitely going to be more of an intriguing play for Port Adelaide to come this trade period. We know that our draft is a little bit compromised with our first pick gone. There's heavily a lot of rumours going around at the moment with Zach Butters, but we know for sure Port Adelaide have confirmed that he will not be traded this trade period, which is a reassurance that never really is something that I live by, especially in the trade period. Anything can happen, so a lot to look forward to. This isn't so much a preview as more of an intrigue to see what Port Adelaide are going after this year. And a big name that's come up, well, not a big name, but a name that's come up after the Giants season has ended is Jacob Weir. Weir's going to be a part of Port Adelaide in 2026. That is an absolute given. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent. Has been sought out by the club for the last couple of months now. He's a half-back wingman that can run up and down all day. He's been a very, very good left footer. He's just starved at opportunity, and I think with the Giants, how they structure up and everything like that, he's never really been able to settle himself into the side. And I think with the way that he's a dynamic player. He can play half forward, can play through the middle, can be anywhere you really want him to be. And with Boak retiring, and our seek for a new wingman is desired. Obviously got Will Lorenz and as such around the mark. Jacob Ware is definitely an opportunity for him to come to Port, and Josh Carr and the team must see a lot of potential in him. So he's definitely almost a guaranteed acquisition this year, which is very nice. We know the Giants have also lost Lee Kalia. He's going to the Saints. So I'm surprised anyone that requests a trade at the moment doesn't just end up at the St Kilda, which is absolutely fair enough. But with Jacob, I think, and there'll be a lot more detail once he does come to the club, and we'll be able to preview him a lot more. But to see that we're going after players that are fringe, that are not just going to be, they have the potential to be list cloggers, and I like the approach. It's very similar to Port Adelaide in 2012, at the end of 2012, going into 2013, where we went after Lewis Stevenson, Campbell Heath. These types of players were coming into the side, and they galvanised as a group. They became crucial role players and were very important. So I don't mind that strategy, especially with Josh Carr having such a young list and so much potential. There's opportunities for players to star, and these players coming in have their opportunity to do so. So I'm very happy, and I think once this is all done and dusted, we're very pleased with this strategy. So Jacob Ware is obviously the first option. The next trade target that's been on Port Adelaide's priority list so far going into this year's trade period will be Will Brodie. He's starved of an opportunity at Fremantle. He's definitely been one of those players that had a sensational year a couple of years ago. Got injured, fell off a cliff last year, was hardly given an opportunity, dominates the waffle every time he plays, and now he's not getting an opportunity at all in the team. So he's seeking an opportunity elsewhere, and Port Adelaide has come calling. Not surprised at all with this acquisition when it does come available. Not surprised that we're targeting him, because Josh Carr was obviously at Fremantle, and it's been a journey that he's been through, and Will Brodie was under his realm. And I think the timelines line up that when Josh Carr was there, Will Brodie had arguably his best season as an AFL footballer. We know he's from the Gold Coast as well, so wherever he sort of goes, he's been lacking that opportunity. When he was at Gold Coast, he had the likes of Noah Anderson, Matt Rowell. I think Gary Ablett was still there at the time. Then you go to Fremantle, Sarong, Brayshaw, Luke Jackson's in there, and so forth. So, it's obviously seeking opportunity, and at Port Adelaide, the midfield is probably as stacked, but with the likes of Trav Boat going out and players coming through, and Ollie Wines isn't getting any younger either. There is opportunity for Will. So I don't mind the targeting criteria from Port on both of those, and I think they're all but guaranteed to end up at Port Adelaide come this trade period in a month's time. Just a few other names that I want to run through that haven't so much been guarantees, but that have sort of been links to Port Adelaide, and this is what we're sort of looking at in particular. We've heard lots of rumours about Bro McCreary wanting to leave Collingwood, and he's been there was a rumour that he toured Port Adelaide. I can't categorically confirm that or deny it, so there's been rumours of that circulating. Would be a great acquisition. We do need a player that of his model, the way he plays and pace and attack on the ball, but great defensive pressure. And I think he's really one that would be a very good get if we could get Bo McCreary. There was also a rumour going around that Elijah Sardis was doing a tour of Port Adelaide and doing a medical. I can't guarantee that either. I can't confirm that. But Sardis knows been very injury prone, been someone at Essendon that has just been riddled by their performance program and hasn't really had an opportunity to sort of showcase his full talents. I think if he was a player, he's top 20 pick, and one player that was starred for Essendon in terms of what they wanted for him, and they thought they were going to get the best outcome. So very interesting if that sort of eventuates into anything like that. And I know there's another name that has been floated across from numerous sources as well, and that's Alex Davies from the Gold Coast Suns. He's been able to getting a lot more CBAs in the last few weeks of the 2025 season, and with their resurgence into the final series, I think it's a definite, a definite sort of almost these players that are starved at opportunity, not getting the desired position that they're after. They're looking for a new home, and I think with Port Adelaide's vision going forth and a new coach, these types of players, there's a sense of a brand new opportunity. Maybe there's a chance to prove something with a new coach and a fresh change. So there's a few names there that I don't mind the Alex Davies one. I think he would be a good addition. But if you're going after Will Brodie, you can't get too much of the same. If we're looking something in particular, a lockdown defender, small defender, another small forward now with Willie Rioli retiring and the clean out that we've had from the club, I think there's a lot of potential there for us to really target, others that could be, something that we need. That if you want to title needs and wants, two very different things when it comes to a trade period. So I'm intrigued to see how we do go in this trade period coming up. I know it's not for another month, but looking at the trade targets and opportunities for what we could do going forth, I think this is one that can definitely build. So looking forward to what happens this year. But for now, we're going to soak in the rest of this final series, which is not fun. Just quickly, I won't make a video on it per se, but I do want to just shout out Luke Webster joining the Port Adelaide Football Club as an assistant coach coming into 2026. Has known Josh Carr for a while. Has been part of the West Coast Development Program for the last 10 years, has been an assistant coach there, looked after the forward line. A great addition, was part of the 2018 flag that West Coast won, and I think is a real big acquisition for our coaching panel. It's someone outside the realms of Port Adelaide. We've got so many in-house acquisitions and developments, that something outside with a fresh look, fresh ideas, a new era of Port Adelaide, really starting to feel like the football program is shaping the way Josh Carr wants it, and there's no limits now. I think it's a great acquisition. So well done to Luke Webster, and I look forward to seeing what else the club brings coming into 2026 as well, along with the trades, along with the draft, and everything else to come. And yeah, looking forward to it. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts about Port Adelaide's trade targets. Who would you like to target going into this year's period? And obviously, yeah, anything else you'd like to chat about, because it'd be great and intriguing to see what people are thinking going into this off-season. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for new Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. Glass Table episode will be out this week as well to review all the finals and everything as well. So check that out. Check everything else out. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support. My name's Anthony, and as always, count the pair.